Who here loves talking about compensation with employees? Nobody? Okay, good. I'm so glad I'm here for this talk. None of us like talking about compensation because it's uncomfortable. Maybe we don't know how to do it. We don't feel like we have strong command over how to incentivize employees. What does incentivization actually mean? It's something that encourages a person to work hard. So how do we incentivize, how do we motivate employees to produce activity, to produce results for us that are going to help us grow our business? So this is me coming from a decade of sales and marketing and sales management, leading corporate teams. This was no-brainer for me. When I was asked, let's talk about incentivization on the corporate side, there was no question. It was a commission, a bonus, you sell, you make money, end of story. Well, after 10 years, I stepped into a plastic surgery practice and became a managing partner to help build a business in Orange County, California. And I thought, I have this all figured out. I know what motivates people. I know how to incentivize them. This is my specialty, right? Well, little did I realize that things had changed since working in the corporate world when I stepped in to manage a small team. And so I want to share with you some of the things that unfortunately were hard lessons for me to learn, but I think having gone through them, I can share my story and hopefully give you guys some inspiration to look at the conversation around incentivization with your employees in a different way and empower you to get excited about getting them excited to do the things that are going to help you grow your business. So one of the big projects we worked on together was formulating a private skincare line. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the label on that bottle, but it actually has my name on it, Kaeli. So you've heard doctors have egos. Try putting my name on a bottle of skincare and watch what happens, right? That you've not seen an ego. I was so excited to sell this thing. I'm like, okay, we're gonna crush it, right? I know how to sell, I know how to manage a team, I know how to lead this thing, like we're gonna make $1 billion, let's go. This was a baby of mine, right? We go to launch and of course putting a whole bunch of strategies in place on the back end, and we get to week 1 and I've got a couple new employees. I'm like, all right, let's go, rah, rah, like you guys got this, right? And week 1 goes by, 0 sales. And I'm like, what is going on here, you guys? Why aren't you selling anything? This is like this is crap. Like this is gold, right? And so I'm like, okay, get it. Let's incentivize you. I'll give you just 20%. Like, let's just start out the gate. I'm gonna give you 20% commission. You can make uncapped, right? Another week goes by. Guess how many sales? 1. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I had to learn and do some research and sort of pivot my strategy to learn about what actually does motivate people. And the bottom line is core motivations have shifted over the past several years. Now, we've got the COVID, pandemic thrown in, and now employees who are expecting higher pay because of stimulus and things like that. But prior to COVID, I was starting to see these shifts. And what it meant for me was that millennials and Gen Z entering the workforce were not as motivated directly by monetary compensation as I had thought. So this study that I'm showing you, these are the results of a 2020 study done by Fortune magazine in their best companies to work for issue, where they interviewed employees and employers, asking them what matters most to you today. And by far, right, the top 3 things were 83% recognition, so recognition for what they're doing and how they're contributing to the business. 76% of them said growth, or a pathway for me to continue to become, advanced or have upward mobility in the company, and I can see a growth path for myself. And 90% said have fun. What? Who wants to have fun at work? Like, just pay me the dollar bills. And so this was really enlightening for me. The bottom line is we don't have to pay more for more engaged and passionate employees. We have to understand what motivates them. So we get this theoretically, but then we go into the hiring process, and these are 3 very common pitfalls that I see. Number 1, we automatically make it about the money, right? So we're automatically thinking, I hire you, I pay you this, and it's got to be a certain number, right? And we're going into this negotiation, and it's all financially based. The second pitfall is that we overpay up front. And so we try to meet that employee, we're like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I can to pay that employee as much as possible. But remember, then they're trying to grow with the company, and then what? So rather than going all in up front, talking to them about where we can work together to get that employee to their desired financial goal. And then the third pitfall is just going in to match the compensation of the last employer, right? So we'll talk about what's the going rate? Our business, remember, is very different from another business. And so we need to look internally and know Specifically, what activities do we need that employee to be doing to produce a result for our business? And then the financial compensation can be calculated based on that. Here today, I want to talk about 3 very basic guiding principles to follow when we're looking at how to incentivize the employee of today. Number 1 is to hire for passion. Number 2 is to lead with mission. And number 3 is to master their key drivers. So number 1, hiring for passion. So we use this terminology in our business called entrepreneur. And there's a fundamental difference here between an employee and an entrepreneur. An employee, they clock in, they clock out. They check boxes, there's a task list, they're ready to go home when their job is done. An entrepreneur is focused on the growth trajectory of the company. They're a collaborative partner with you. They take ownership of their role within your organization. Now, please remember that when you hire for ambition, you can teach an employee how to do the things that you need them to do. But when you hire for the things that they need to do, you can't teach them how to get excited about doing them. How can we be creative about hiring people for the right things, for the passion, for ambition, maybe even from different industries, and teaching them new skills? Number 2 is leading with mission. My mission is to help 100 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year. When people come to our company, they come for this. They come for the mission that we're after because they're excited about being a part of that mission. If I'm hiring somebody for a paycheck, then guess what? They're gonna leave for what? A bigger paycheck, exactly. But when they're coming for that mission, I can get them to enroll into my vision and to the activities that we're doing every single day so that they can accomplish that goal for their own reason, which is that mission. Today's generation of employees are really passionate about being a part of something bigger. Sell the dream to them, get excited behind it, remind them. Number 3 is to determine key drivers for each employee. Put yourself into the employee's shoes, especially if you're hiring an entrepreneur and a candidate who has options. They wanna know, what am I gonna get out of this opportunity that's better than the other opportunity that's out there? So this is where maybe we'd have a conversation. What are you expecting to make, or what do you feel like your value is? And listening to where they want to be, and then finding a way through a package and with different elements of compensation to help them get to that number. Right? We just hired a superstar for our employee, and she's like, I'll take a pay cut if I can have Fridays off, but I'll get all my work done Monday through Thursday. 100%, let's go, right? To get the right person. And it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. It's just like, okay, how can we find a pathway to get you to where this makes sense for both us and the company? Help your employees help themselves. We need to do the job to reverse engineer our goal to help them better understand what to be doing to achieve that. This is a client that I was working with. He asked me to come and just oversee his team meeting. Okay, team, we're gonna have this big event. Our goal is to hit $100,000. And then my wife finally gets her Ferrari. And he said it as a joke, but any kind of compensation scenario where you're incentivizing some activity, break it down for the employees so they better understand what they're supposed to do to help achieve that goal. So in this example, his goal was $100,000. We knew that what they were selling was a value of $5,000 per package. So we needed 20 sales. They'll convert about 50% of them. So we needed to register 40 patients for this event. So each staff member is going to call 4 each day and get them registered for this event. How different is that scenario for the staff member? Go earn a Ferrari, right? Or go make 4 calls and get 4 people signed up for this event. And then finally, remember that we're hiring human beings, not robots. And everybody has different needs, has different desires, has different drivers that motivate them. And that's where the key driver conversation comes in. So understand what that is for your employee. Get to know your employee. We like to talk about 5 business love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and cash. Some people like all of them. Some people like some better than others. So we like to find out, what is really important to you specifically. And then finally, I would say lead mindfully. People want to feel recognized. And so these are just some really easy, simple ways to take this special time for your employee to show them that they're special. Employee of the month: flowers, thank you notes, surprises, special recognition, paid time off, consistent feedback, team dinners, training programs, aesthetic treatments, etc. Best practices for incentivizing employees: hire for passion, seek out the entrepreneur, Lead with vision and learn your key employee drivers. And finally, feel good and empowered as we can hire employees and it doesn't have to all be about the paycheck.